A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Assalamu alaikum everybody who's viewing us today. We're here at the Hub of Spirituality 28. I'm sat here with Shah Saab today, Raza Bhai. And today we're doing just a program to sit together and just generally talk about things before Sehri time. Shah Saab, been a long time, especially being live. And some of the questions have been from a scientific point of view, and I thought we'll share that live with you guys and see if anybody, see if it can benefit anybody, and also answer the question for the person. Now, Shah Saab, going back a couple of weeks when I done the program, last time when I read Shahji's book, The Mathematical Mysteries of Alphabets. This is the book you've all seen me read before, and I will continue reading it in the next programs. The Mathematical Mysteries of Alphabets, Divine Solution for Mankind, Vision from a Visionary, Akhtar Mueed Shah Abdi Saab, where we've had some extraordinary tales in there relating to living Sufis of their door. You could say Kalandars of their door. Stories where people will be baffled to know some of the things that these people were able to do. For example, astral project is the right term to use, where they'll be in one place and their soul will go to another place. We've read stories where they've actually, one person has passed away and then come to life again after 4 or 5 days being pronounced clinically dead, and then coming back to life again. We've had stories of people who can literally walk out of a door or walk into the woods and disappear within minutes, and also you'll find out that they're hundreds of miles away at a certain other place. So there is a science behind it, or at least I should say that science has discovered certain things about the human anatomy and us as humans, and have questioned these things, and we see it all the time. We see it in Hollywood, we see it in movies, we read it in fictional books. What is fact? What is fiction? Is fact stranger than fiction? Because these stories that are associated with these personalities, they're certainly fact. So that's what we wanted to uncover and talk about today, Shah Saab. So some of the questions what we have. Last week when I done the program, someone from Miami phoned in, who is a professor in a university. I think it's physics, quantum physics and physics. He worked in the field for 14 years. Name is Imran, and now he teaches in a university in Florida, I think, or in Miami. One of the questions what I found interesting were, when you see, on what screen do you see this within yourself? And I find that this is a reoccurring question from the day I met you, and we went through the whole process, and time again, without fail, you tell people certain things, and it's always happened in that way, whether you tell them something about them that's happened previously, or something you say that's going to happen in the future,
or is currently happening,
and someone hasn't mentioned it there and then. There's a fascination that I personally have, even though I'm not qualified as a scientist, but some people, science and what sort of direction they're looking at, like they look at some fascinating things, portals in space, the black hole, the God particle, things that are never talked about. And what I feel, the confidence in them, is that they're very good at spending their budget towards doing the research, looking at things on a microscopical or even smaller level, and figuring out actually what these things are all about. And that leads me to ask these questions, because some of the things I know about, like Shahji, or like they heard me in 25 people when they were talking, and they heard what I was saying within myself. I wasn't really saying it out loud in my...
They basically heard your heart.
They heard my heart.
Yeah.
They heard my thoughts. And these things, the telecommunication, telepathy, and all these things then came apparent to me to look for some sort of scientific background to it. So the question that Imran Saab from Miami said was, what screen do you see in?
The thing is that, first of all, A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. I would like to clear one thing here. Seeing is something that is done with dependency. To see, you have to have light, you have to have eyesight. ठीक है ना? To hear, you have to have a ear, कान. ठीक है ना? You have to have a ear, and you have to have air as a medium, or maybe water as a medium. ठीक है ना? There's only two things that sound travels on. ठीक है ना? There has to be a medium. To know, there is no medium. There is nothing. There is nothingness. To know. The mystic knows. ठीक है ना? Either it's past, either it's the present, or it's the coming future. But he just knows. Now the thing is that if you put it down in words, that what screen do you know on, you can't say that, because he just knows. There is no question mark, no exclamation mark, no full stop, no comma. It's just a matter of know. And the mystics usually know, which you find very, what do you call it? Mystics are not very, they're not, what do you call it? Like heavily found everywhere, and you can't find them a lot these days. The mystic knows. Now if you just put that question as you asked, that how do they know? Isn't it? What screen do they know? See, scientific research is something that when something happens, then there is a research on it. First you have to have some sort of incident, that then the research comes in. Like for example, if the mouse breaks, like this mouse, it's not got a ball, it's works on infrared or something, I don't know. But the thing is that if this stops working, then the scientific research will start. Why is it not working? What is it? The knowing is something different. It works. Till when it will it work? How will it work? What will it work on? Everything to know about it. That comes the knowing. Again, the thing is that it doesn't, there is no screen to it. To know, you don't have to know any screen. There is no screen to it. There is no medium to it, because you're talking out of the cosmic universe. You're talking about the other side.
So whatever circumstances are brought to you in that respect, the question is asked, you will know.
Yes. The thing is that that's what, see, my father used to say one thing, and it's in Urdu, but I will explain it to everyone in English as well. He used to say, पूछ लो मेरे से जो कुछ पूछना है, मैं उस दौर का आखिरी आदमी हूँ. Ask me whatever you want. I am the last of that time and age. Basically of that age he meant. दौर का मतलब age होता है, it's not time.
Or era.
Era, you can put it down as era. Yeah, of that era. He was the last one.
Yeah.
Now you keep on looking, you can't find anyone like my father. This was the reason why. Because the thing is that these were the people who knew things. It's not a matter of seeing. People ask readings, these are not readings. बहुत सारे लोग कहते हैं कि for example, because I'm commercialized basically, I take phone calls in the day, I meet people as well. People ask, how do you know, what do you know, how this. The thing is that it's just there, and the best part about it is people think that we know everything. It doesn't work like that. We only know what is meant to be known. Why? Because the knowledge is come from the Quran. And this is not only from the Quran, even the Bible mystical side, or maybe the Torah mystical side, or maybe whatever holy book is there. Anything mystical, you can't get everything from it. You will get certain things from it which they want you to know. Because you are not in control. You are basically the one who has submitted.
A vessel.
A vessel. You're a carrier. The word for it is a carrier. You're the carrier. And the carrier only carries. And somebody else basically is the one who what do you call it, pours in the wine, or whatever you call it. जो मौलाना रोम की किताब है, उसके अंदर है ना कि you're the vessel and he pours the wine. Basically somebody else who pours the wine. So that's about it. There is no screen, no nothing about it.
I'd like to go a bit further into this then. There's one thing knowing something. Like that's accepted, because there's an overwhelming proof since yourself after Shahji.
Yeah.
Again and again it's undeniable that you do know.
Yeah.
There's another side I'd like to bring this conversation to. When we read, when you gave me a wazifa, I'll talk about myself. There's many others, and I'm sure some of the people that are watching have done wazifa and maybe experienced the same thing.
Everyone, I'll just everyone who sits with me, they read.
Yeah.
There's very few who don't read, otherwise everyone, they have to read. Put it this way, not read, they have to read.
During that reading, I've experienced this. And from my own experience, I'd like to bring it back to the screening part again. As I've done the wazifa, either I'm reading 6,000 or 12,000 or more,
or 19,000
or 19,000, whatever, on a daily basis for a set amount of number of days. After I read, say, 6,000, and I'm reading at whatever time, I start visualizing.
Basically, you see things.
I see things, and my eyes are closed, and it's completely pitch dark, and I'm not using my eyes for looking on the phone or anything, but I can experience this vision. In that vision, I'm seeing things happen. Maybe seeing through scenery of mountains, clouds, trees, or people talking to me, and that kind of experience. While I'm awake, I'm viewing it as if it's actually happening. Now that, would you say, could be associated to my third eye or my spiritual eye? See, what I wanted to ask about is, what screen is that? The reason I keep bringing it back to Imran Bhai's question is the screen. It's said to be a screen.
Yeah.
In science, they've actually done a lot of research on the physical anatomy of us humans. And in the brain, they found behind the pituitary gland is a gland known as the pineal or pineal gland, which is like a pine. It has a mathematical equation of spirituality as well. I think it's spirituality. I'll have to have a look at that in a separate talk. But what they say is it's got some... That's where the DMT or the serotonin or different liquids and the light-giving crystals are formed. Pineal gland is also known in ancient Egyptian texts and symbols. It's known in the Vatican. Right now, if you go outside the Vatican, they've got a pine cone shape which symbolizes the pineal gland. In Hinduism, it's known because they have the red dot that they put there, indicating
the subcontinent for it's there,
and it's literally behind there. And the explanation is that you've got two eyes which are connected through a wire, I'll call it, two wires to the vision center, and then there's a one eye, the one wire that goes back into another eye, which is made exactly from the same material as our eye is, only it doesn't see anything physically out and about here. But because it's the shape of an eye, it's physically present in our heads, and it's literally behind, in the middle of our head there. So it's associated there, and that's known as the physical third eye that people try to activate and see through. What would you say about that?
See, the concept of the spiritual eye is there, that there is a spiritual eye.
Yeah.
Now, if you scientifically prove it that it's the what?
There's a physical presence of a pineal gland.
Pineal gland, or whatever you can name it, or whatever you can call it. But the thing is that the main thing is that to see with that, if you say that the construct is the same of this eye, that means you have to have this eye, isn't it? Now I'll put it as a Fakiri or Darweshi slide. Forget about the common humans. Or
I might add that it's also known as the seat of the soul in some of the philosophies from other spiritualists.
Old school.
In the old
school.
Yeah.
The very old school. I'm talking about the 15th, 16th century. Now you just change it around and bring it to a person who is sitting on the Ganga.
Yeah.
Who is sitting there all day, all night, and just sitting like that. Now a mystic from Christianity who's sitting and reciting the Bible all night or all day. He's taking Lord Jesus' name. The Kabbalist who's sitting and reading the God's names or whatever he's doing. 72 names, or maybe whatever he's doing his own practice. Now a Muslim who's sitting at the night on the rug with the tasbih and reading all night, all day, who's not seeing anything outside. See, to see something, you have to have an eye. Now he's got the eye, but he's not seeing anything outside. It's a bit difficult to catch it. He could
have a vision rather than seeing associated to the first eye seeing. He has a vision which we close eyes.
When he hasn't seen anything, can he have a vision of that?
This is where I'm baffled.
Yeah,
because when I do the wazifa, some of the things I've
seen.
Yeah.
Now the thing is that you need to understand one thing, that you've never seen a car in your life.
Yeah.
Hypothetically.
It's not in my knowledge.
It's not in your knowledge. It's not in your brain.
Yeah.
But in the vision, you see a metal box rolling on the road.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
Yeah.
That's a car.
Yeah.
So that means that your vision or your knowing is not dependent to any eye. Either it's the, what do you call that? Pineal gland or this gland or that gland. Is not dependent to anything. To tell you the truth, if you ask me the truth, as Matthias Abbas has said, the truth is there's nothing to do with your head. Everything you see is to do with your heart. And the thing is that, again, it's not seeing, it's knowing. Your heart already knows. See, any wrongdoing you do, you know about it. You can't say, I didn't know. Yes, the other different thing is if you're intoxicated or you're
self-denial or whatever it is.
Yeah, whatever it is. The excuse is secondary, but the first thing is you know. So that means that this concept of this thing is not wrong, it's right. But the thing is that it's just one thing, that this is called a mouse.
Yeah.
Isn't it? It's named as a mouse. Isn't it? That's it. You can pinpoint it, bring it anywhere, you can put it down. And the other thing is about the pineal gland, I tell you one thing, the chemical formulation is exactly like the eye, but there are certain chemicals that are released in it when the person starts to know or see. Your body reacts to something. See, anything, temperature your body reacts to, any change your body reacts to, anything happening which is out of the blue, your body reacts to it. Like if we are sitting here, somebody bangs the window at the back, we will react.
Yeah, our nervous system will give a reaction.
Yeah, when somebody rings the bell, we will react. Otherwise, you're just sitting there like doing nothing. You react to things. When you're hungry, you react, you want food. There's a sign of it. When you're thirsty, feel your throat dries up, you react to it. Any change in the body, it reacts. And the same thing is when something from outer space or maybe out of this universe, from
different dimension
or anywhere from the unknown, there's a contact. There's a portal and there's a contact. Portal, I won't talk about it because then we'll talk about portals for the next 6 hours. The contact, when you see, that is the point of contact. And the worst thing is that somebody who is contacting you is from a side where there is only one side. There is no other thing there. What do you call it? There's just one. It's monotense. Here is a stereotype thing. Now my hand is up, now it's down. When it was up, that was the past. That was present at that time. Now that has gone past, this is my present. My hand is down. And now, this is the...
It's always moving forward.
Move it forward. Where will you determine that this will be the future? Can you determine that?
No. Unless you make it.
Unless you make it. But even then, that still becomes the past.
Momentarily.
Because there is basically a time lapse in the middle.
So we live moment to moment.
We live moment to moment. That's why we were talking in the kitchen about the death. Everything stays in one static form on the other side. I will come back to the other side. When that happens,
the spiritual side,
side,
without any physical,
your body releases chemicals which it never releases, and that's the time of contact. Basically something else from the other side contacts you. Good, bad, ugly, you can describe it. That is something that is depending on your religion, faith, what are you practicing, that is something. But I'm just talking about the contact, the touch. Because something touches you, that's why you feel it. You start to see it, you start to know things about it. So that is what, like we were talking about the metal box car.
Yeah, that was outside of if it was outside my range of knowledge, I've never seen it before, and it come into my view in my knowledge.
So it's nothing to do with your brain, because the brain can only process things it has known.
Capacitate certain amounts of things, and this is nothing to do with any of that. So it's an external knowledge that's coming to me.
External knowledge has come to you. Like people sitting in one place when they're reading or they're doing any sort of prayer, ibadat or whatever religion or culture, whatever the background is. They see like mountains and they see a cave. They've never been in a cave. But how can you see yourself in a cave when you've never been in a cave? I've never been in a cave. Have you been in a cave? No. But you see yourself reading while you're reading. You see yourself sitting in a cave. But why do you see yourself in a cave? Because you know how a cave is.
Yeah.
If you see yourself sitting somewhere else, which you don't know, The brain can only process. The brain can only change. The brain can only show you things that it has already seen.
Knowledge of. Yeah.
The knowledge of. The only thing is, what happens is, when the contact happens, it comes through the heart. Any religion, it always from the heart. The heart basically functions in that way. The knowing starts from the heart. And when that happens, the chemicals are released or whatever, and then you can put it down as it's because of that spiritual eye or what?
Pineal gland.
Pineal gland is a difficult word for me to remember. Pineal gland, it could be the pineal gland, it could be anywhere. But the screen, you name it as a screen. It's a good word to name it as. You can name it as the screen, but that is a start towards knowing. And then when that knowing starts, then a stage comes. I'll just go a bit further on this, because while we're talking, it's interesting to talk about something where I like to bring in yaqeen and belief. When the knowing starts, then the believing starts automatically after that. And then after that, what happens is that you end up submitting. Once you start submitting, and then you end up nowhere.
And then you surrender to Allah.
Then you surrender to Allah. And then when you surrender, you can surrender to anyone according to your own religion. I won't say that you only surrender to Allah, you can surrender to God, you can surrender to anyone.
Because we're Muslims.
Yeah, we are Muslims, we talk about Allah. Yeah, we surrender to Allah. When you surrender, once you surrender, and then that's it. Dad, I'll repeat my dad's words, आदमी कहीं का नहीं रहता, ना इधर का ना उधर का, किसी काम का नहीं रहता. Function उसके change हो जाते हैं. Because the thing is that to operate in a world, you have to function in a certain way. You can't have your breakfast at 2 o'clock in the morning. You have to be morning to have your breakfast, to get up and have breakfast. You can't have your breakfast at dinner time. You have to have breakfast when you get up. तो दुनिया का ये एक रिवाज है, एक तरीका है चलने का. बट वो ये इस रास्ते में जो है, द नोइंग, द बिलीविंग एंड ये जो रास्ते की चीज़ है, इसके अंदर आदमी कहीं का नहीं रहता, ना इधर का रहता है ना उधर का. अपनी होश नहीं रहती आदमी को. यू कांट इवन थिंक ऑफ योर ओन सेल्फ.
To conclude on that, I'll tell the viewers, in one of the documentaries I seen that the scientists got together and they done an experiment on certain individuals where
I'm sorry, I'll just क्योंकि काफ़ी WhatsApp messages आए हैं और सब कह रहे हैं कि उर्दू में बात करें ज़रा. उर्दू में बात करें, क्योंकि एक नहीं है, अरसलान का भी आया है और क्या कहते हैं उसे, कुछ लोग ऐसे हैं कि यू कैन गो. सॉरी.
हाँ, तो मैं ये कह रहा था कि साइंटिस्ट उन्होंने एक्सपेरिमेंट की है. एक्सपेरिमेंट उन्होंने ये की थी कि एक कई बंदों के साथ की है उन्होंने एक्सपेरिमेंट. उनके साथ करते क्या थे कि उनको एक कमरे में ले जाके अंधेरे में टीवी के सामने बिठा देते थे और टीवी पे उन्होंने उन पे उनकी बॉडी पे मॉनिटर उन्होंने लगा रखे थे. एक तो एनर्जी लेवल्स ब्रेन की, दिल की, यानी कि बॉडी कहाँ से एनर्जी जनरेट करती है. उन्होंने ये देखा कि हम स्क्रीन पे वो दिखा रहे थे उसको तस्वीरें, कुछ अच्छी कुछ बुरी ऐसी कि जैसे खतरे वाली ना, कोई मर रहा है या डराने वाली चीज़ें, फियर वाली चीज़ें. अच्छी जैसे कि अच्छी सीनरी होगी, बच्चे खेल रहे हैं, कुछ अच्छी तस्वीरें भी ऐसे ना. उन्होंने नोटिस किया कि जब तस्वीर एक अच्छी हम दिखा रहे हैं ना इसको, इसके दिमाग की एनर्जी जो है उसके मुताबिक चेंज हो गई है जब हमने इसको तस्वीर दिखाई. आने वाली तस्वीर अगर खतरे वाली थी ना, उन्होंने नोटिस किया कि ब्रेन की रिएक्शन ही तब मिली कि जब उसके सामने तस्वीर आई. पर लेकिन जो हार्ट की एनर्जी थी ना, वो पहले से ही चेंज हो गई थी कि अगर खतरे वाली चीज़ है तो वो रिएक्शन ही ऐसे, मतलब उन्होंने कोई मेजरमेंट रखी थी कि रिएक्शन ऐसे देगी बुरी पिक्चर देखने के बाद, और अगर अच्छी पिक्चर हम दिखाने से पहले एनर्जी ऑफ द हार्ट चेंज हो.
देखिए, द हार्ट, मैं वही बात कर रहा हूँ कि हमारे सूफीज़म में, मिस्टिसिज्म में, द मोस्ट इम्पॉर्टेंट थिंग इज़ द हार्ट. द हार्ट का जो फंक्शन है वो सबसे, लोग समझते हैं कि जी दिमाग का ठीक है, दिमाग बट वही प्रोसेस करेगा जो उसको पता होगा. इट कांट गो आउट ऑफ द बॉक्स एंड स्टार्ट प्रोसेसिंग.
टूल टू बी यूज्ड.
बट द हार्ट ऑलरेडी नोज थिंग्स. नाउ द थिंग इज दैट इफ यू think about it, the heart hasn't got any brain. Isn't it?
They say there is a mind.
There is a mind. There is a
and mind is not associated with the brain.
Mind is something
there
different.
There is a mind that comes
thought comes associated to the brain.
Brain.
The thought can only be processed once it sees something, but you can't start processing until you don't see anything. Even as a practicing Sufi, if I don't see anything, I don't say anything. This is how the mind works. Because I live in a world, I have to work according to that. But अगर heart की सुनने लग जाए, तो फिर तो आदमी पागल फिरता फिरे. You have to control it. देखें, the thing is कि coming back to the same question, कि how do we know, how do we, यानी कि जो as you said कि 5 साल हो गए मुझे बताते हुए पूछते हुए, लोग पूछते रहते हैं कि कैसे, क्या, क्यों, कैसे. ये पता होता है चीज़ों का. मेरे फादर भी कहते थे कि पता होता है. और एक वीडियो क्लिप है मेरे पास, मैंने निकाली थी. It's on DMTV, it's on YouTube as well. And my father laughingly standing there, he says it. मैं पूछता हूँ, कोई बताता नहीं है. And the question was this, कि कैसे पता चलता है? मैं पूछता हूँ, कोई बताता नहीं है. ये सवाल नहीं पता चलता. कहाँ से पता चलता है? सब मेरे से पूछो, ये कुरान के इल्म है, ठीक है, तो सबको पता है कुरान का नॉलेज है, मैं पढ़ता ही कुरान हूँ, ठीक है ना. ये यूं है, किसी को पूछ लो फलाना प्रैक्टिसेस है, किसी को क्या कहते हैं पूछ लो कबालिस्टिक प्रैक्टिसेस है, किसी को पूछ लो जी क्या कहते हैं उसे क्रिश्चियनिटी की प्रैक्टिसेस है, साधु को पूछ लो बोलेगा हिंदुइज्म की प्रैक्टिसेस है. दे विल ऑल कम अप विद द थिंग्स.
Okay, let's go for some perspective in this.
Yeah.
The Christianity, spirituality.
Yeah.
Christianity came a long time ago.
Yeah.
The Kabbalah, like you said the other day, ilm tha.
Ilm tha.
एक वक्त पे था.
हाँ.
This is now the.
एक मिनट, यहाँ रिफ्रेश कर दो. एक वक्त पे नहीं था. इल्म आसमानी किताब का और हर जगह रहा है और अभी भी है.
अभी भी कबाला का
इल्म है सब अपनी जगह.
ठीक है.
बट वो जब कुरान आया, सो बेसिकली तमाम आसमानी किताबों के असरात जो है कुरान मजीद में मौजूद है. आई डोंट रिमेंबर द एग्जैक्ट वर्ड्स. ये मौला कायनात का फरमान है कि एवरीथिंग वाज accumulated and brought in the Quran. लेकिन कहीं ये नहीं कहा कि वो किताबें नल और वॉइड हो गई हैं.
नल और वॉइड नहीं.
उसकी नॉलेज है, पढ़ना भी ठीक है.
बाय रिस्पेक्ट.
क्योंकि वो अभी किसी से बात हो रही थी तो कोई किसी मुसलमान को आई थिंक क्रिश्चियन से शादी करनी थी, तो किसी से पूछा गया तो कहते हैं कि अगर अहले किताब है तो निकाह कर सकते हैं. मुझे नहीं पता, आई एम नॉट सेइंग कि कर सकते हैं नहीं कर, बिकॉज आई अवॉइड शरिया, बट दिस इज व्हाट आई हेयर्ड. ठीक है ना. एंड आई डिड सम रिसर्च ऑन द इंटरनेट एज वेल, फाउंड आउट कि इट्स पॉसिबल. बट द थिंग इज दैट कि वो ये नहीं कि वो हैं बाकायदा नॉलेज है, बट वी प्रैक्टिस द कुरान. But that is the last book.
The last book. The
Prophet brought the last book and everything ends there. Nothing more is coming. Nothing more we expect. We don't want anything more.
Shariat, Shart and then Tariqat.
Yeah.
Right. What I was going to say is both bring in the science into it as well. In physics, it's known we're vibrational beings because of our atoms and everything like this. And the mind science, they also say that the neuron pathways actually become more stronger once you keep on repeating things. This practice that we do, one thing I want to remind you of what you said the other day and bring it back to this practice that we do. We basically sit, we repeat, it has that energy associated to it, our body reacts to it, our neuron pathways become stronger because we're repeating, let's say Bismillah again and again and again and again 19,000 times on a daily basis. So is everybody able to then come to a point where they can get their spirituality in a way they become a vessel as well?
To become a carrier.
They can become a carrier.
Anything in a rotation, that's what we believe in, and it is a fact. Anything in a rotation creates an energy. Motor, just a water motor, rotates, creates energy. Magnet बीच में, तो coils rotate होता है बीच में magnet, वो magnet बनता है, फिर वो उसमें ताकत बनती है, फिर वो energy पैदा होती है. Anything rotating creates energy. The same concept goes for tasbih. The same concept goes for 19,000 Bismillah, because there's a rotation of tasbih. भले 1000 की हो, 100 की हो, 5000, 10,000 की tasbih हो, but there's a rotation. That's why we tell people specifically don't read on counter stickers on वो जैसे ऐप आता है ना. Yeah, I've tried that as well. उसमें नजर नहीं आता. ये सारी चीजें मैं तजुर्बा कर चुका हूँ अपने आप पे. दिखता नहीं है. You can't see. Because we are the ones who seek. Basically, we want to see. We want to know the truth. Even though we know the truth, but we want to know more about the truth, because the truth is never ending.
So the billions of people that already are in either search of the third eye, opening the pineal gland, look at some meditational practices, which is also known as murakba in our trika,
or
zikr, and all they do is they know that they want to activate their third eye. That is done through meditation as well as reading tasbih and doing zikr.
Any form of isolation यानी कि put it down this way, any form of isolation and concentrating on one thing, you get that thing.
That's what's said in Buddhism.
Yeah, anything.
Well, in meditation, sorry if I'm wrong.
Yeah, in meditation and Buddhism is the same. They concentrate, they focus on one. The world can collapse around them, the Buddha won't move from his place in this position, he'll sit. That's it. This is meditation. Islamic meditation भी ऐसा ही है, बैठ के जा नमाज के ऊपर मतलब तस्बीह के साथ की जाए. Now people ask कि जी वजीफा नहीं है, meditation होता है. That's why सख्ती होती है इसकी, टाइम की जगह, टाइम की what you call it, time, place, your sitting position, take ना हो, पैर ना लंबे करो. यानी कि अगर पढ़ने वाला आदमी हो, if you're seeking for someone, if you're looking for the truth, so then you have to sit, you just read with your eyes closed in the dark.
And the reading brings me to another thing. We have sound. Sound is our connection, communication.
Sound is the only connection to the other side, by the way.
Is it?
Yeah, but yes.
Okay, fine.
Because everything came in sound. All the orders came in sound सिवाय हज़रत मूसा के.
Yeah.
तख्ती आई थी. बाकी सारे orders sound में हैं. Sound is the most powerful medium.
When we do this sound, it sends a vibration through our bodies. The scientific side of it is we're vibrational beings. Continuous vibrations, continuous repetition, continuous forming of this energy. The thing that I wanted to bring you back to when you said it a week ago as well is Quran जब नाज़िल हुआ था, पहाड़ पे आता, रेज़ा रेज़ा हो जाता, वो किसी मेजरमेंट पे आता ना.
हाँ,
वो क्या बात आप रिपीट कर सकते हो? कुछ मुझे भी याद नहीं आ रही सी, क्योंकि वो जब हम रिपीट कर रहे हैं कुरान की ही बात को हम अपने आप पे कर रहे हैं.
चीज़ ये है कि कुरान में अल्लाह ताला फरमाता है कि अगर ये पहाड़ पे नाजिल होता तो रेज़ा रेज़ा हो जाता. अगर अल्लाह ताला चाहता तो कुरान किसी पहाड़ के नीचे रखा होता और बोलता रसूल पाक सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि वसल्लम को कि उधर से आके उठा ले.
Like the tablets.
But it came साउंड में हज़रत जिब्राइल के थ्रू कुरान फिर हमें बताया गया कि ये कुरान है, ये हदीस है. दैट्स सेकेंडरी थिंग, बट द फर्स्ट थिंग इज कुरान केम इन साउंड, एंड द मोस्ट पावरफुल वे ऑफ एक्यूमुलेटिंग द कुरान इज रीड साउंड. देयर इज़ नो अदर वे टू, यानी कि यू कैन से ठीक है उसको देखना इबादत है, छूना चूमना सब कुछ है, यानी कि बट द ओरिजिनल जो उसकी एसेंस है ना, टू गेट द मोस्ट आउट ऑफ इट इज रीड. That's what basically I tell people. People ring me and watch and read. I said read 1 para a day. 30 पारे हैं पूरे. 30 रोजे हैं आपके.
Yeah. And people do. Yeah.
People do.
Yeah.
People do. Even I do. You do. Everyone does. यानी कि but अब बात हो रही है तो ये क्या कहते हैं उसे, अभी रमज़ान का महीना है, लोग कहते हैं कि जी क्या कहते हैं उसे, शैतान बंद हो जाता है, ये हो जाता है वो. Sufism works on a different plinth. We believe the shaitan is within us. We are the ones who do the sins.
Yeah.
है ना? ठीक है, he makes us do it. ठीक है ना, उसको एक काम पे लगा हुआ है,
वो उकसाता है,
वो एक काम पे लगा हुआ है, उसका काम ही है और वो बहुत अच्छी तरह कर रहा है. We as humans are really helping him do it.
Yeah, we're giving in.
We're giving in basically. We are not what you call it. We're not surrendering to Allah. We are surrendering to the again and again to the devil.
Yeah.
As that preacher told, what did he say?
Yeah, don't let the devil between you and dance between you or something.
Yeah, don't let the devil dance between you. That's what he does. He dances in your heart and you are just submitting. 11 months of the year, you do jack. You do nothing. 1 month you think that I will do everything and everything will be okay. Sufism works on a different length. हमारा कॉन्सेप्ट डिफरेंट है, हमारा कॉन्सेप्ट इंटायरली डिफरेंट है. पीपल जैसे कि ये नहीं कि मैं कह रहा हूँ गलत सही का नहीं कह रहा, बट द थिंग इज दैट वी बिलीव मोर ऑन इबादत, प्रेज द लॉर्ड. वी बिलीव ऑन दैट कॉन्सेप्ट कि अल्लाह के बारे में बयान करो. अल्लाह के बारे में कैसे बयान करोगे? रीड द कुरान. हाउ डू यू क्या कहते हैं, मौलाना रूम का जिक्र कैसे करोगे? बाय रीडिंग हिज मसनवी. Isn't it? You read the book. So then you pick on it, isn't it? You're explaining his book. So the same thing you do with the Quran. If you want to praise Allah Ta'ala, you read the Quran. But do it across the board. Pure saal mein. And the thing is that Sufism, the other thing is what my father's concept is, which is a question mark. जब इस दरवेशों को जो है फतवे भी लग जाते हैं और they are like outlawed and people don't like them, people don't like sitting with them. हमारा ये कहना है कि वाई टू माफ़ी क्यों मांगे, इसके बजाय कि उसकी इबादत की जाए, उसकी हम्दो सना बयान करें.
काम ही ऐसा ना हो
फिर के माफ़ी मांगने की नौबत आए. फिर वो आगे फिर सेकेंडरी चीज़, अगेन द सेकेंडरी इज़ द प्रॉब्लम. द ट्रूथ इज़ सिंगुलर. हक जो है वो सिंगल एक पोल है वो. That is the first and last thing. There is no secondary thing. Whenever the secondary thing comes, then that's a justification for the first thing. And the truth doesn't need any justification. हक सच अल्लाह ताला को कोई justification की ज़रूरत नहीं है. वो एक चीज़ है, एक ही जगह रहती है.
It is what it is.
It is what it is. This oneness. There is no nothing with it. There is just singularity. यानी कि वाहिद, यानी कि एक का भी आधा होता है, वाहिद का आधा नहीं होता. My father has written in his book, these are his words. एक का आप half कर सकते हो. You can.
When one of the holy books it said that Allah said, "I am that I am."
I am that I am. He is. There is no to be or will be or this that. People say Allah देख रहा है. We believe He knows already. To see, He knows He will see as well. He knows everything. And the thing is that this is what our belief is, that we pray to Him. प्रे से मतलब उसकी हमदो सना, उसकी रिसिटेशन, वो जो भी है, यानी कि वो होली कुरान जो है, यू रीड दैट. भले किसी फॉर्म में पढ़ो, कोई आयत सूरा कुछ भी, बट यू रीड दैट.
वो अपने आप पे फिर वो
डेविल को, यू डोंट लेट द डेविल डांस इन यू,
विदिन यू,
because you can't have both the things at the same time. You cannot walk two roads at the same time. ये हर जगह का है. If you are in the what you call it, in the living room, you can't be in the what you call it, in the bedroom at the same time. You have to be at one place at one time. If you believe that Allah Ta'ala is with you, so then you won't do wrongdoing.
Islamic practices then,
yeah,
and the Buddhist practices,
yeah,
meditational force that they become or gain by just doing meditation or muraqabah, and then there's the force that we build within ourselves by reading the Quran Pak, the Quran's force.
That is meditation as well.
Is it? That's what my question is.
It is a meditation, because you're sitting in one place, you're not talking to anyone,
and you're one thing.
You're not listening to anyone. You're not seeing anything else. You don't want to know anything else. You have no desire left.
That time that
the only desire you have is that book. And when you're reading, भले तस्बीह के फॉर्म में हो, वजीफे के फॉर्म में हो, या ये कि इबादत के फॉर्म में हो, या किसी फॉर्म में हो, what happens is that is meditation. You're basically making yourself believe that yes,
you're building that inside.
You're building that inside, and once that inside is built
through the words of the
then
Quran,
the world is the worst. Then you find out that everything is a lie.
Is this? I mean, I know this. I just want to bring it forward for everybody else. This is a world of angels and demons.
Yeah.
Our communication through reading, through building this energy, building our inner strength and the knowing. Do we get a connection up there then?
Obviously. You connect somewhere.
Tell us about that connection.
You connect somewhere. See, you're the carrier. So somebody is basically dropping things in you, isn't it? You're carrying.
Yeah.
If I'm carrying 2 phones, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, so I'm the carrier of the phone. Somebody is the one, there is one who's dropping the phones in my pocket.
While you answer that as well,
yeah,
I mean, just my general knowledge, which is small. Hazrat Adam alayhi salam came, Mayava came, Adam and Eve came to this world. They were on their own. They had a connection up there.
They had a connection.
Then everybody, thousands of millions of people there, Hazrat Nuh alayhi salam, last man standing, everybody gone, had the connection up there. Then loads of people came, but there was connections up there with only the holy people. Just like that, is this world all about us still building that connection before we die? Like before we die, वो क्या कह रहे थे? Qablas maut?
Qablas waqt.
Qablas waqt.
Before the time. Before the time of death, you basically die.
So before we time of death.
Yeah.
How do we do that?
See,
so we can have a connection up there, and we know for sure.
The concept of life and death, if you ask, basically, like, ask me, the life. Now, what do you call life? Driving a nice fast car. ठीक है ना? Earning good money, success.
bearing commitment,
या ये कि पॉपुलर होना,
status,
एक्टर स्टेटस, और कोई इम्पोर्टेंट पॉलिटिशियन, या वो, ठीक है ना? Depends.
Fulfill an emptiness within you. Whichever way.
Depends on this.
Yeah.
ठीक है ना? एक पॉलिटिशियन का बेटा, वो बचपन से उसको पॉलिटिक्स ही में जाएगा, बिकॉज उसकी फीडिंग ऐसी हुई है. डॉक्टर का बेटा, वो डॉक्टर. वकीलों का वकील, ठीक है ना? दरवेशों का दरवेशी की तरफ जाएगा, बिकॉज ही इज सीइंग प्रैक्टिसेस. सुबह जैसे वो पैदा जब होता है आदमी, उसको पता होता है वो मुसलमान है या क्या है, उसके कान में अजान दे देते हैं, पता चलता है मुसलमान है. Christians, I think they do christening. I don't know what they do when they're born.
They do a christening.
Christening, yeah, they do that.
They baptize them as
they
well.
Baptize them as well. Is a what do you call it? A proper Christian. So then, what do you call it? That becomes a Christian.
Yeah.
You basically do what you have learnt from your brain.
And truthfully, they don't need to. He's a Christian. He's been born in a Christian family.
Yeah.
The parents accept him as a Christian. He's a baby.
Yeah.
Yet they do the ritual.
Yeah.
Of baptizing.
Yeah.
They do the ritual of,
That is religion.
Yeah.
See, faith and religion, you cannot say.
So why is it a statement to the unknown that yes, he's a Muslim?
नहीं, ये तो बाकायदा जो कलमा पढ़ना है, ये तो हमारा काम है. ये तो इस्लाम में शरीयत है. ये बाखुदा दीवाना बाशत बा शरीयत हो. शरीयत की तो चीज़ें करनी है. But the thing is that when we are brought up as a Muslim. ठीक है ना? Atmosphere घर का. The same thing happens in a Christian house. The same thing happens in a Jew's house. He will be brought up as a Jew because this is what he's learning, isn't it? ये अलग चीज़ है कि आगे चल के बोले कि नहीं मुझे मुसलमान नहीं रहना, मैं क्या कहते हैं उसे, I want to change my religion. सरमत style. वो 4 मज़हब उसने बदले, 3 मज़हब मेरे ख्याल से. कुछ लोग तो कहते हैं कि from a Muslim he went to Hinduism as well, but I don't know जहाँ तक सच है, but it is in books. But the thing is कि we only do what we know. We only practice what we know. We don't do anything out of the box. So the same thing implies with everything, that this is all basically superficial. The truth is something else and it's somewhere else. Otherwise सरमत जैसा कहाँ कनेक्शन हो सकती थी? मंसूर अलाद जैसा कहाँ से कनेक्ट होता? उसने तो शिर्क किया था ना.
उसने क्या कहा था?
अनल हक, मैं हक हूँ. यानी कि इनडायरेक्टली से मतलब आई एम गॉड. That's shirk, isn't it? But he was the connected one. He already knew. I'm just giving examples that this basically जो meditational practice है, ये किसी भी religion में, ये basically आपको takes you on that plinth. Because remember one thing, there's only one up there. You can contact him through any branch of religion. You can contact him through anywhere. You can go and sit on the mountain and get him. You can sit on the
He is the one who created you.
He is the one who created everything.
Everything.
He is the one who created. He is the one who knows everything. He is the one who knows that when are you going to die. Even though, what you call it, if you get murdered, he knows that as well. That is written that you are going to be murdered.
But if it's written, then वो आपके वाली बात
दारा शोका का खत कि जब क्या कहते हैं, then where is it? Where is he? But this is how he operates. This is how, because this is control. That's what I was speaking to someone on the phone, that he likes control. Everything has to be controlled.
A dependency.
When there is control, there is always dependency.
This is where the free will, and also something you said a couple of months back. Lohe Mahfuz.
Lohe Mahfuz.
उस पे लिखा हुआ है. Whenever everybody says लिखा हुआ है, that's what they're referring to, isn't it? लोहे महफूज पे जी लिखा हुआ है. पर वहाँ क्या लिखा हुआ है? Only the good. And if we decide to do the bad,
the good, the bad, the ugly, everything is written there.
So it's going to be written that I'm going to go get drunk after this. For example.
लिखा हुआ है.
लिखा हुआ है. So मैंने automatically करना ही हुआ.
अब ये बोलोगे आपके मेरा क्या कसूर कि उसके अंदर तो पहले से लिखा हुआ है.
अगर लिखा हुआ है, so I'm sorted.
I'm sorted. It doesn't matter, isn't it? Yeah. The same thing goes that about what do you call it? We were talking about dozakh. कि when we know that we are not good. देखें सबसे बड़ा डर क्या है आदमी को? सबसे बड़ा डर मौत. उससे बड़ा डर कोई भी नहीं है. है ना? मरने का डर है, भले अपना हो, बच्चों का हो, बीवी का हो, माँ बाप का हो, है ना, या खुद का हो. पेन इस मौत का डर होता है. ठीक है ना? कयामत के बाद जब हिसाब किताब हो जाएगा, सब कुछ हो जाएगा, जब आपको दोज़ख में डाल दिया जाएगा, यानी कि as you said what is the word? Eternity, endless, यानी कि endless life दे दी जाएगी, and you're gonna burn in hell. But आपको ये पता है कि you're not gonna die.
That's why it's written that we're gonna beg. The people that are gonna be in hell are gonna beg to die.
Beg to die. Yeah. Now the thing is that to beg to die, but you're not gonna die.
Yeah.
Isn't it? But you're not gonna die.
But you're gonna get burnt.
But you're gonna get burnt. But
and you're not going to die.
You're not going to die. So but the main thing is, you're not going to die. You're going to stay alive.
Yeah.
ठीक है ना? But if you think about it.
Yeah, but for a 60-year, 70-year life, for eternally burning someone, isn't that a bit unfair?
वो अल्लाह का कानून है ये. This is the law. This is the law.
Yeah,
this is the law.
If he's bad and Allah
यानी
said it,
अल्लाह ताला ने एक चीज़, अब जन्नत भी तो मिलेगी, eternally endless जन्नत मिलेगी ना, जो अच्छे काम कर रहे हैं, नेक है, इबादत गुजार है, who have listened, basically who have surrendered to Allah's will, they will stay in Jannat, isn't it?
They're sorted.
They're sorted, and they will live there eternally. Till now, what do you call eternally or endless? Where do you determine the end?
Yeah, there's no determination.
There's no determination because there's no time.
Yeah.
Now you just said the 60 years. For 60 years.
Yeah.
अब एक 6 साल का बच्चा है, 16 साल का बच्चा है, 60 साल का बूढ़ा है, 80 साल का, कुछ लोग 110 साल के भी हैं, ठीक है ना? How are they aged? According to time.
It's measured.
In Sufism, we believe, the mystics believe, as my father and us. मैं वही मिसाल दूंगा कि वो बाकर भाई आए थे, डीएम के कैमरामैन. He brought some palmist.
Yeah.
He sits on another channel. I won't take his name.
This is something I wanted to also.
Yeah. He तो बाकर भाई ने कहा कि शाह साहब ये जो है, my father की बात करें, शाह जी ये जो है हाथ पढ़ते हैं. तो डैड ने कहा अच्छा मेरा हाथ भी पढ़ के देखो क्या. उन्होंने देखा तो he just looked at his hand and he just झटका खा गया. कह रहे हैं क्यों, क्या हुआ, डर गए.
3 दफा कटी हुई.
वो जबान से उसके अल्फाज दे निकले. बोले मेरे मौत की लकीर 3 दफा कटी हुई है. तो कह रहे हैं कि हाँ. तो मेरा डैड गोस कि मैंने मौला से 3 दफा इजाज़त ली है. Because he was writing the Jafar Jama.
यही बात है. G.H. Khan.
He died. Ali Haider Saab. Ali Haider Saab
a bit more dramatic side because their Mayyat was there. They were inside.
Yeah, they were inside. People.
The prince was there.
Yeah, and he's looking that side and this side.
A lot going on.
A lot going on.
A lot to process in that part.
और ये कल परसों whenever we sit again, I want to talk about that incident. कि पता चले कि how the other side operates, how people. ठीक है, अली हैदर साहब तो मर गए थे. Now we will leave this question and nothing.
यहाँ कोई मौत का तो कोई डर ही नहीं है यहाँ पे. तो
सूफी के लिए तो मौत का डर ही नहीं है because सूफी तो पहले ही मरा हुआ होता है.
Is he there as well as here?
I'll tell you one thing, and I think we better pack it in because सहरी भी करनी है. Yeah. The thing is that kid, the one who starts to know the truth, he starts to die. आप आहिस्ते आहिस्ते मरते चले जाते हो. वननेस की तरफ अकेलापन आपको क्या कहते हैं सूट करने लगता है. सोने और जागने के औकात की परवाह नहीं रहती है आपको. होश से मदोशी हो जाती है. In the night you're someone else.
You seclude and spiral out.
After Maghrib you're someone else. In the morning you're someone else. दिन का उजाला आपको सूट नहीं करता. My father used to say बारिश रहे तो ज़्यादा बेहतर है. अब उनकी बातें I know.
हमारी तरफ से चांद सूरज ना निकले.
वो डैड कहते थे हमारी तरफ से चांद सूरज ना निकले, हम तो अंदर बैठे हुए होते. These were his words, and these were the words. Why? Now I understand why. Because the thing is that he was the one who was seeing the truth. When you start knowing, it's the truth. And that is something. और जहाँ तक इस चीज़ का सवाल है, people say that you know everything. No, everything नहीं है. What जहाँ तक वो दिखाते हैं, जहाँ
needs
तक
to be known.
Needs to be known.
To the point that they've come for that reason. They were बुलाए हुए, उन्होंने आना ही था.
हाँ, वो आना था. बस.
Unannounced तो कोई आ नहीं सकता.
Unannounced कोई नहीं आता. बस. ये चीज़ है.
So there is hope for people out there listening to our conversation. There is a way to achieve, to evolve, to
and I would say something here कि that to find the truth.
Say this to the people that want the guide from there.
To find the truth, you don't need to go out. You need to be in. And in से मतलब ये नहीं कि रोडों पे जुलूसों की शक्ल में या ये कि किसी भी शक्ल में या कहीं पे कुछ भी. To find the truth, you need to sit, and you sit in one place. Nizamuddin Auliya वाली बात, sit on the rug, and you hold the tasbih. There you will find the truth. Otherwise you will never find the truth. You will just remain on the street. That's what's happening.
Go within.
Go within. Go within yourself. You have to dig deep inside.
Mola Kainat said the universe is within you.
Within you. ये मौलाना रूम का भी फरमाना था. You are the universe is within you. Just look within yourself and you'll find the truth. अब बाकी ये कि आजकल तो एक तमाशा बन गया है इस चीज़ का.
Could people contact us and you can guide them to get in the truth?
I always guide them. I guide anyone who calls me. किसी का फ़ोन आया हमजाद के लिए, मैंने कहा कि चलो, I didn't put him on the हमजाद, but I put him on this path. Eventually he will get there. But it'll take time. I'm not that easy to give in anything. तो यानी कि पढ़ने के अलावा मेरे से कुछ ले नहीं सकते आप इस तरह. लोग फ़ोन करते हैं कि जी जिन काबिज़ करा दो. No, not with me. I'm not that easy. I'm very difficult.
There are paranormal activities that happen in lives of people. After Ramzan, we have a few things coming up. We'll share with everybody. For today, I think we'll wrap it up.
Wrap it up and do Sahri.
So, happy Ramzan to everybody. Thank you very much for listening. And if you have any questions, like always, WhatsApp, phone, text message, email, get in touch. And we hope we've answered certain questions that have been asked to us so far. बंद कर देते हैं फिर अब. Thank you very much, guys.
Okay, then Khuda Hafiz from our side. Then inshallah see you all whenever. Allah Ta'ala bless you and happy Ramzan.